Hi everyone, welcome to Social Success, 9 strategies for using social media to find more customers and generate bigger profits. If that's the presentation you were expecting, you're in the right place, and we're going to get started here in just a few minutes. So now's a great time if you need to finish up any last minute emails, run and grab a drink, run to the restroom, any of that stuff. This is a great time for it because we'll get started in just a few minutes. Thank you. Hi there, everyone. Welcome again to Social Success 9 Strategies for Using Social Media to Find More Customers and Generate Bigger Profits. We'll get started here in just 1 minute. We still got a bunch of people filing in, so we'll give everybody just one more minute to get settled in, and we'll get started. Thank you. Okay, everyone, let's go ahead and get going. Thank you for joining me here for today's presentation. Again, it's Social Success 9 Strategies for Using Social Media to Find More Customers and Generate Bigger Profits. Just to let you know, I will be recording this presentation, and I'll get a recording out to you in probably the 24 or 48 hours after this presentation. And also, I will be taking notes taking questions at the end of the presentation here. So if you have any questions, please go ahead and chat them into the question box below this presentation, and I will do my best to get to as many of them as I can. If for some reason I don't get to all of them, then I will certainly follow up with you, or somebody on my team will follow up with you here in the coming days. Finally, if you hover over this presentation with your mouse, kind of like I am, I believe just right down here in the lower right-hand corner, you'll see a little box pop up. And if you click on that box, it will expand this presentation into full screen mode, which may make it easier for you to view. And then you just hit escape when you are ready to get back to the normal view here. So if you want to input a question into that question box, you could do so. Okay, thanks again for joining me. Let's go ahead and get rolling here. All right, in today's presentation, we're going to cover kind of 3 big topics here. The first one is just why focus on social media. I know for a lot of businesses that's still a question, and there's still some confusion about the value and ROI of social media, so we're going to address that. Number 2 is common social media mistakes and misconceptions. And then number 3 is 8 strategies for success with social media. I've got some good strategies and examples, and also some good just kind of market data out there to show you what's going on in the world of social media. All right, so Act 1, why focus on social media? It's still a very real question, I know, for a lot of businesses. So let's start with just some very compelling market data here, just to illustrate, how important social media has become in the everyday life of so many people. You can see here, social media, time spent on social media sites is now the #1 activity on the internet. There's 340 million tweets daily, which is just amazing. And 1 out of every 7 minutes spent online is now spent on Facebook. So you can see this graph here between 2006 and 2012, just unbelievable growth of social media properties. It really is something that came out of nowhere and is now just such an integrated part of our culture and the way we communicate with others. So it's a hard thing to ignore. No matter what kind of business that you're in, your customers are out there on social media. So that's just something to consider here. And users continue to multiply. You can see here just over the past 4 years, smartphone use is up 456%, which is really, really, really closely tied also with social media use, because the smartphones have made it very easy for you to use your social media accounts when you're out walking around and about town. It used to be that the social media sites were just for when you were sitting at your PC, whether work at home or at home. But now, I believe most of the usage on Facebook now in the United States anyway is actually on mobile devices, on people's phones. So that rise in smartphones has really added fuel to the fire in terms of the growth of social media. 900% increase in Facebook accounts, 30,000% increase in Twitter accounts, 12,500% increase in tweets per day. Number of tablets up almost 500%, and monthly video viewership up over 330% to 43 billion. And many people don't realize that the video sites really are social media sites. I mean, YouTube is absolutely a social media site, and also video viewage on Facebook is through the roof. So the numbers just continue to shoot through the roof, and this is dominated by the handful of really big social networks. Number one being Facebook by far and away. You can see here almost twice the size of Google Plus, closest competitor. And then shortly behind Google Plus there is Twitter. All three of them still growing, and all three of them really dominating in the social space. And this was as of January 2013, and this says active users. I was going to say it's pretty interesting to see this data, because I know that Facebook is actually over 1 billion total users now, but this is active users, and you can see Facebook's growth is slowing. It says active users and slowing, active users and growing, active users and growing. So Google and Plus and Twitter still growing. They obviously have a long way to go to catch up to Facebook. Facebook is certainly the gorilla in the space. Now let's look at the time spent on social media sites. It says here social media makes up 27% of time spent online now, and you can see on this statistic on the left-hand side, the average time visitors spend on social networking sites per month. Facebook, by far and away, again dominates these other sites. 6.75 hours, Tumblr 1.5 hours, Pinterest 1.5 hours, Twitter 21 minutes, LinkedIn 17 minutes, and then way down here Google Plus 3 minutes, which I think is really interesting to note. If we go back to this last slide, you can see here at 343 million active users on Google Plus, but they're only spending 3 minutes a month on there. Why is that? Well, Google did a really nice job of essentially making just about everybody that uses any Google app or anything all of a sudden a member of this Google Plus social network, whether they really want to be or not. And adoption, while a lot of people have accounts and there's been a lot of curiosity, adoption has definitely not really taken hold as it has with Facebook and Twitter and some of these other platforms. The amount of time spent online on social media, pretty amazing. You can see here in the United States, a little clock with a breakdown. Social is 16 minutes, entertainment 9 minutes, shopping 5 minutes, business 3 minutes, email 3 minutes. So social media by far and away the largest percentage of time spent by people in the United States when it comes to their online activity. And this is both for personal and business purposes. 77% of B2C and 43% of B2B companies have found customers using Facebook. So certainly a very active business community happening online there on these social media accounts. More and more businesses are turning to these social media sites to attract customers. You can see here double the leads of telemarketing, direct mail, or pay-per-click, and 46% of users count on social media when deciding to make a purchase. So social media is certainly having an influence on business and on consumer behavior. And it's interesting to see consumers are demanding that they are able to use social media when interacting with the brands that they want to purchase from. You can see here by the end of 2012, it says 80% of companies plan to use social media for customer service. Customers who engage with companies via social media spend 20 to 40% more money with those companies. So pretty wild. Definitely some statistics that you want to pay attention to. 71% of those who have positive customer service through social media recommend the brand. And nearly 1/3 turn to branded social media pages on Facebook to ask product questions. So your customers are expecting you to be there, and they're expecting to be able to interact with you there as well. So we don't want to underestimate the impact of social media on business. 70% of consumers are more likely to use social media friendly businesses. 72% trust online reviews, which can now be found in most of the social media sites. They trust online reviews as much as personal recommendations. And B2B companies with blogs generate 67% more leads than those that don't have blogs. So there is really a strong impact on business and on buyer behavior from social media. You can see over here social care versus customer service by phone. 1 in 3 social media users prefer social care to contacting a company by phone. And some of the statistics that I've seen recently show that that number is rapidly growing. It's accelerating as more and more people get comfortable with this idea that they can just engage over social media rather than making a phone call. And businesses are starting to realize that social media can have a real impact on their business and a measurable impact on their business. You see here 74% of chief marketing officers believe they'll tie social media efforts to hard ROI this year. And 96% are starting to look beyond sales goals and web metrics to identify the value of their sales and marketing efforts, of their social marketing efforts, 76% of businesses are using social media and networking for business objectives. 64% of marketers are integrating social media into their marketing plans. 11% of businesses using social media have been doing it for more than 3 years now, and 9% of businesses using social media have been using it for less than a year. But adoption is definitely growing, and clear ROI is starting to be established. And I'll show you some more statistics on that in just a bit. It was definitely a few years ago much more fuzzy as to whether or not you could get clear ROI from your social media activities. It is certainly becoming clear now that you can. So how does social media benefit all of these companies from their activity and integration into their marketing plans? Increase brand awareness and traffic, building relationships and influence, which I think this is this point and the next point are actually probably the two most important uses of social media, is that you can really develop relationships. You can show your customers that you care enough to be there interacting with them. You can show your personality, and that can develop a lot of relationship and a lot of influence and trust with your prospects. Gaining new customers, increasing the loyalty of those customers, getting more revenue per customer, and cheaply gathering market intelligence. Social media is a great place to just kind of have your feelers out and have people listening as to what consumers are saying about your brand, what they're saying about trends in your marketplace, and also what they're saying about your competition. Social media is almost a totally free lens to see and hear what your marketplace is thinking, because they're out there saying it publicly. And you can see here just some more results of social media. 51% of Facebook users and 64% of Twitter users are more likely to buy from the brands that they follow or fan. So the statistics, again, are pretty darn compelling. You want to be out there. You want to be engaging with your market. And if you do so, you are earning increased loyalty and you are earning increased spend from the marketplace. All right. So lots of compelling statistics there as to why social media is important, why it's worth paying attention to, and why it is worth investing in as a business marketing activity. Now, let's move on to Act 2 and talk about some of the common social media mistakes and misconceptions that I see in working with clients on their social media. First one is just thinking that it doesn't influence your customers or market. Showed you just a lot of statistics about the sheer number of people that are on social media and how active they are. I honestly have yet to come across an industry that can't use social media effectively, and I've yet to come across an industry where the consumers are not being influenced by social media in terms of their brand loyalty and purchase decision making. It's just simply not true that social media doesn't influence your customers or your market. And certainly anybody can challenge me on that. I can find examples of businesses in your industry successfully using social media. Another big mistake that's made is either just not participating or having an incomplete profile. So not having a complete profile can really impact the perceived presence of your business in social media. If you don't have all of your information there, if you don't have pictures about your business, if you don't have complete address information, contact information, all those types of things, then it can be very frustrating for visitors of your site. And it can also just look a little sloppy and just like you don't really care, or you're just not really on top of things. So definitely want to have a complete social media profile. And then inconsistent or inappropriate activity. I'd say inconsistency is one of the biggest challenges that I see, particularly with smaller businesses that I work with, is they understand the value of social media and maybe they get off to a good start, but then just life gets in the way, being busy gets in the way, taking care of customers, building your business, whatever it is gets in the way. You typically don't have a full-time social media person working for you. And so there's just very inconsistent activity, which can really take away the momentum of the impact of social media for your business. And then certainly inappropriate activity. There are rules of engagement in social media, very similar to there being rules of engagement kind of at a business cocktail party or something. There's just certain things that you don't want to say or do in terms of your behavior if you want to be successful at that cocktail party, and the same goes for social media. All right, let's talk about some of the dangerous misconceptions now. That it's a waste of time or that it's unimportant. A lot of people believe that social media is just a big time suck, and certainly if you're not organized and strategic about it, it can be. However, it's pretty simple to manage around that. Only young people are using it. Absolutely not the case. I will show you here that there are massive populations of people from every age group now in social media, particularly on Facebook. ROI cannot be measured. Again, definitely not true. More and more tracking and systems out there that allow you to measure exactly what's happening with your social media. I'd say actually the data and reporting that you can get from social media activity and your efforts for marketing your business through social media is actually pretty darn impressive now. This idea that you have to be on every network. There's so many social media sites out there. How can I possibly keep up? That is definitely not true. Depending on your business, there is most likely only a couple that you really need to spend some time on. And when when set up and managed properly, you can usually make updates to several sites at once without actually having to spend time going from site to site. So a lot of this can be taken care of in pretty smart ways, so you don't actually have to be on every network. One, and two, you don't have to spend time on every network. And then number three, that it's free marketing and that it gets immediate results. And if you don't get immediate results, well, then it wasn't worthwhile. Um, Definitely not the case for either. Um, Social media is not free. I mean, is there a lot that you can do through social media that you do not have to invest any money in? Yes. But the smartest businesses in social media are willing to make some investment in it, realizing that when they make that investment, they're getting more reward from it. So, um, most effective social media campaigns that you see, there's at least some budget assigned to them now. Whether that's because you're trying to make sure that you get more visibility, and so you're doing some paid advertising, or you're giving away gifts or coupons as part of the campaign, which is very common now. Usually there is some sort of budget now associated with an effective marketing campaign. And then in terms of immediate results, certainly, can you get immediate results from social media? Absolutely. It can be a good direct response form of marketing where you can get people to respond to you right away. However, at the same time, in terms of long-term benefit from social media, and really doing something that can become a long-term asset for your business, it does take time. I mean, just like anything else, any strategic marketing initiative for your business does take some time to get results. All right, so I talked about one of the misconceptions is that it's just young people. Um, just some interesting data here. Actually, who uses social media by sex there? 62% male, 71% female. And that's 62% of men and 71% of women. And then by age, you can see here 18 to 29, that's 83% of people. 30 to 49, it's 77% of people. 50 to 64 years old, it's still over half. And then 65 plus, 32% of people. So those are massive, massive numbers no matter what group you're going after. Really every demographic is using social media. And to say that, you target mostly upper income boomers and so they're not in social media, just not true. Okay, the statistics absolutely prove otherwise. Consistency is key. Okay, consistency is key. Creating consistent social media profiles across the largest networks, the ones that you've decided to work with, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, Google Plus, or LinkedIn, again, depending on the nature of your business. Having good, complete, consistent profiles is very important. And then posting content, posting updates, photos, stories, helpful tips, whatever it is, depending again on your business, on a consistent basis is critical, or else you risk being ignored. Okay, the social media networks um, favor and give more visibility to the more active users. Okay, you can see here from the 31 Commandments of Social Media for Business, number 22, be consistent. Social media should be a regular effort. Consistency is a sign of reliability. And there are ways to measure ROI. Okay, I know that was something that is definitely a big misconception. The data around social media is something that is being analyzed like crazy right now. I mean, there are so many tools, resources, research firms out there that are studying social media and the impact that it's having on business. And the ROIs are absolutely becoming very, very visible. You can see here 72% of marketers researched said social media helped them close new business. Okay. Um, let's see here. 65% saw an improvement in search rankings, which search rankings can absolutely be tied directly to revenue for many, many businesses. And it has absolutely been shown by Google and the other search engines that they are doing as much as they can to take social content into account in their search engines, because they realize more and more the importance of that kind of content to their users. So if you're not creating social media content, you are going to have a harder time ranking well in the search engines going forward. But it does cost both time and money, as I said before. Social media tools are often free, but effective campaigns require both time and money. And honestly, in most cases, I think it's primarily time. And I think that that's where most businesses, again, particularly my smaller clients, tend to have a problem, is just the time to keep up with it, the time to create some good content and get it out there, is usually what stops them. You can see here, this is just a study where they analyze, okay, if you had a social media strategist at $100 per hour, working 10 hours a week for your business, that would be $52,000 over the course of the year, 52 weeks. If you had a community manager, $60 per hour at 30 hours per week. So this is somebody who is actually managing the community, responding to your visitors, interacting with them. If you had a site built, maybe a mobile app built, these numbers are certainly, I think, skewed on the high side by this research. But, regardless, there are real numbers associated with this. And again, even if it's just your time, somebody's time, time is worth money. That's time that they could be spent doing something else for your business. And results take time. Okay? It's a marathon, not a sprint, as they say. And what you typically see is that 3 to 9 months of consistent activity, and that's when you really start to see some impact from your social media effort. And what results do people see? Increased awareness, increased website traffic, improved search ranking, sales leads, and then of course there are some that say that they're not seeing any results, but as you can see, that's a small number in comparison to those who are, and that number is shrinking every day. All right, so that's some of the popular mistakes and misconceptions, common mistakes and misconceptions that we see in here, and just addressing some of those. Now it's time to move on to Act 3, 8 strategies for success with social media. All right, here we go. Strategy number 1, go where your customers are. Okay, and that's pretty common sense, but absolutely important that you strategize where you want to spend your time from a social media perspective. Some of you will do phenomenally well on Facebook, while others may have more success on LinkedIn, depending on the nature of the business. LinkedIn tends to be more of the professional kind of corporate environment that you see does really, really well over there. So people who are trying to sell to other large corporations, businesses where networking activity is really, really key to their success. LinkedIn is phenomenal, whereas Facebook, you really can see just about, like I said, every type of business be successful on Facebook. But I think the ones where it's most easily seen and understood is business to consumer brands, hair salons, restaurants, clothing, anything where you're expecting a consumer to get out their wallet and pull out a credit card and make a purchase. Those types of businesses do phenomenally well on Facebook. So just depending on the nature of your business, you want to determine, hey, what's the right place for me to spend my time? Where are my customers at? And then let's put our time and energy there. You can see here, the study shows Facebook dominates. Again, as we've stated earlier, people are just using Facebook a ton, and it really does dominate. So in just about every business out there, I encourage you to take a really hard look at Facebook. Don't just write it off. There's almost always a strategy that you could be using to market your business on Facebook. All right, strategy number 2, complete profiles. Okay, as I said before, you want to make sure that you have a complete profile for your business in the social media sites. So, here's an example. You can see on Twitter, so page title tag, they got a description of the business, a link to their website. You can have some images up here, posts that include certain keywords that they want to attract people to. So just making sure that you have a good, complete profile. Certainly on Facebook, you want to have the big image at the top of your Facebook page now, and you want to have complete information about your business on that site. It's very, very important that you do a complete job of putting all the information about your business up there and your products up there, pictures, things like that. All of those things make a big difference, both in the amount of traffic that you're going to get and also in the engagement that you're going to get from your users. Strategy number 3, be real and authentic. Okay, people really like it when they see the human side of businesses on social media. You can see here the Wall Street Journal got some feedback from Stephen Clark, and you can see here it says, thanks very much for pointing that out. We fixed it. So somebody at the Wall Street Journal is actually paying attention and responding when they see comments about their brand. And you see Stephen Clark, they get some brownie points from Stephen for that, right? Wall Street Journal, great response time to fix the error. I can dig that. We all make mistakes. Admit to your mistakes, and just demonstrate that you're human. Engage your audience, share stories with them, share pictures with them. Again, people love to see that human side of business when it comes to social media. Strategy number 4, listen to what is being said. As I mentioned before, social media is probably the best source of free market information. Okay, free competitive information. You can gather all kinds of data information about your products, your services, what people think about your brand, your competitors' brands, your competitors' products. So listen. Okay, keep a finger on the pulse of your customers, your competitors, and your industry, and there are all kinds of great tools out there to help you do this in a really efficient way. Strategy number 5, create and post compelling content consistently. And this is a best practice that we absolutely recommend, is that you have a calendar of marketing activity to make sure that you're getting some good content out there every day. Okay, you can see blog posts, email, write article, find keywords, update Twitter. So, this is an example calendar here, but you want to make sure that you're getting some valuable content out there on a regular basis. Okay, what happened in social media just a couple of hours ago is already as good as gone. So you want to make sure that you're doing it on a consistent basis. Go the extra mile and deliver helpful content. You can see here, this is from Born Creative. And it's from Jennifer Bourne. You can see here that she's given some good tips, a download here to help people with how to set up some administrative rights on Facebook. So just some good, helpful information. And that's the key to it, right? It's relevance, frequency, and high quality. And that combination of the 3, you want to get good creative content out there on a regular basis. All right, strategy number 6, actively engage your community. Showed you this earlier with the Wall Street Journal where they were responding to requests. But you can see here, these good posts where people are chatting back and forth. Also over here on the Kohl's Card team, they're doing a giveaway, and you can see that they're mentioning at Shelly2320, at BB Slough, at Gem or GE Michelle. So this team is interacting with other people on Twitter by specifically using their Twitter handles to identify them and make sure that they see the conversation that's happening. So you want to get in there. You want to engage with your community and be active about it. All right, strategy number 7, offer exclusive promotions, contests, and giveaways. This is one of the easiest ways for just about any business to get good visibility on social media and get good traction and start building your audience. People love free stuff. They love engaging, fun contests. So you can get very creative and do just about anything via social media in terms of creative promotions and contests and giveaways, and really have a great time with it. And your social media community will have a great time with it as well. And you'll score lots and lots of points, lots of engagement, and lots of loyalty. Strategy number 8, have a call to action. Okay, once you have drawn all of these people to your social media presence and to your website from your social media, you want to make sure that you actually get them to do something with you. Okay, so you can see here a couple of examples. This is on Social Media Examiners, one of the big popular sites about social media. Click the like button above. Okay, so trying to get you to like their Facebook page. And then down here, sign up for email updates with a name and email collection box right here inside of their social media post. Okay, so this is building an email list so that they can communicate with people in another way. So all kinds of good calls to action here, and you can also see here, this is in a Twitter post. Thanks for the follow, Jim. I click here to read about how you can cut your business, or excuse me, click here to read about how you can cut your business costs. And again, it's a call to action. It's a URL asking them to click on and taking them to a different location outside of Twitter where they can further engage them. So have a call to action to get your visitors to do something. Strategy number 9 is to advertise. Okay, as we all know, eventually all of these social media sites have to make money and have to make profits in order to stay in business. Okay, they can't just be a for free service forever. And the way they do that is by selling advertising. Advertising on all of the social media platforms, in particular these 3 though, but all of them, has just absolutely exploded over the last handful of years. And certainly the larger social media sites are very, very profitable now. Facebook, public companies generating billions of dollars in net income already. Twitter, LinkedIn, they're all generating lots and lots of revenue and profits now. So advertising on these platforms is pretty darn simple. It's effective and actually pretty darn low cost. You can target like crazy on these platforms. And why is that? Well, because think about it, on Facebook, everybody's putting in all of their personal information, every detail about their life pretty much on Facebook. Well, with Facebook's advertising vehicles, you can target all of those very specific interests and demographics and psychographics and location and things like that on a very, very fine-tuned level. So you only need to spend your advertising dollars exactly on the market that you're going after, versus if you're doing some more traditional advertising like a radio ad or a newspaper ad or anything like that. Obviously your ads are going to be seen by a lot of people who are not necessarily your target audience. So you can keep your costs way down on social media advertising because of that real in-depth level of targeting that you can do. So definitely worth considering supplementing your social media activity with advertising on the social media sites as well. All right, so the key to all of this is the word social, okay? In order for you to benefit from social media, you really need to be out there engaging your audience. Get out there and be social with them. Build those relationships by communicating back and forth with them and adding value and showing your personality and admitting to your mistakes, and you will gain a tremendous amount of trust and loyalty from those people. Again, one of the simplest and most effective ways that you can start to get real momentum from social media is just to have some good content and offers out there on a regular basis. People love free stuff, so if there's some free stuff that you can put out there, or some discounted coupons, giveaways, contests, things like that, people love that stuff. So consider what kind of content or prizes or gifts or discounts that you could give away to your target market, and you can get a surge of activity from the social media sites and build a ton of momentum quickly. And then finally, as I said before, be consistent. Okay, social media is not something that you just show up, you do one time, and then you're gone, and you expect to see any sort of long-term benefit. It does not work that way. You want to be consistent. You want to be in there engaging. with your audience over time, keeping in touch with them. That's how you see the real payoff. Focus on these things though, and social media will pay off, and it will be a win for your business, I promise. All right, that brings me to the end here, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. And before I do so, I just want to say we help businesses with social media, their social media strategies and activities. And we would love to have a conversation with any of you. If you're curious about how you can use social media effectively at your business and you'd like to talk about some options, we would love the opportunity to have that conversation with you. I promise it won't be a high pressure pitch. We'll see if we can help you out. And if we can, and it looks like it'd be a good fit, we would love to work with you. So if you'd like to have a conversation about that, if you have any additional questions or you'd like to think about some specific opportunities for your business to take advantage of social media, please just do get in touch. We got our contact information all around this presentation, and you can easily contact us here in a variety of ways, and we would love to hear from you. Okay, let me just go ahead and pause this for a second here while I get a drink, and then I'll be happy to answer some questions. Okay, we got a number of questions that have come in here. Let's see. Our question number one. Susan asks, how is it that social media impacts our search engine rankings? I don't understand the correlation between the two. That's a great question. So what the search engines have started to do, I mean, they've realized that social media content is becoming very, very important, very, very influential to the world of internet users. Okay, people are starting to get and trust information from other people just as much as they are going onto search engines and searching for that information. So Google, their primary business is their search engine, of course. And so they start to see that happen and they start to think, uh-oh, we could potentially get irrelevant here very fast if people don't feel like they can come to our search engine and get the social information that's being shared out there as well. So what they have done and the other search engines have done as well is to start to incorporate the content that is being created and shared on social media sites into their search results. So they are out there, scouring the LinkedIns and Twitters and Facebooks and taking the content that's being created and incorporating that into the search results on their search engines. So that's one real primary way. I mean, you will actually see, search results from, content results from social media sites in your search results. Okay, so you'll see a LinkedIn post or profile when you're in there searching in Google, or a Twitter post. Okay, so that's one way. But then the other way that isn't quite as clear, isn't quite as obvious, but is really, really important, is that the search engines are also looking to the social media world to help them determine how content should rank. So let's say that I publish an article, and I publish that article on my website or my blog, wherever I decide to publish it, and then you're all obviously aware on those articles now we'll have a like button from Facebook and a share button so you can share it through Twitter or Facebook or wherever you want to share it. Well, those tools, those sharing tools and like buttons and things like that are being measured now and used as a way of determining which articles, which content, which pictures, which videos, whatever it is, should rank highest in the search engine. I mean, let's say you and I both publish an article today on the best restaurants in New York City, and one of the article has no social media likes or shares or anything, and the other one has 10,000 social media likes and shares. Well, which one would you expect the search engines to place the highest value on and rank the highest? obviously the one that's had all of that social interaction and social proof. So really, really important that you're considering, how does that content influence my ranking? How does that social media content influence my ranking? And this goes for every type of business. I mean, you see online now, I mean, Google now has the ratings for small local businesses, right? So every business can be rated. They bought Zagat guides so that they can do that. Facebook now has a local business rating system built into it. Yelp, all kinds of businesses do. So, even if you're just a local auto mechanic or a local restaurant or whatever it is, uh, those rankings that are happening in the social media sites will now impact, again, your ranking in the search engines. How people evaluate your business, how they rate it in the search engines, and how they share it with their friends or not, or like it or not, will have a real impact on how your business ranks in the search engine. So that's the major ways there, Susan, and I hope that's clear. It's absolutely a major factor in search engine ranking going forward. Let's see here. Question. Okay, John wants to challenge me here. John says, "Hey, I sell life insurance. Show me how I can be successful. Tell me how I can be successful with life insurance on social media." That's actually a great question, John. Um, Selling life insurance is a pretty, that's a tough business. So I'll give you credit for that. Not a lot of people want to talk to the insurance salesman necessarily. Although when you do, such as when you have a new baby, you've made some major life change, got married, things like that, life insurance becomes very, very important, right? So, let me give you a couple ways. So one is you could definitely use ads to target people based on those major life events, right? In Facebook, what do we do when we have a baby? What do we do when we get engaged? What do we do when we get married? We post those things on Facebook. And you can run ads targeting people based on those factors. So that's a pretty obvious way right there. The other thing is, I actually happen to know somebody who specialized in helping insurance salespeople grow their practices just by using viral social media referral campaigns. And just simple campaigns where people essentially get prizes for referring. And it's a fantastically successful model. So even life insurance can be successful on social media. Let's see here. Sarah asks what I think about Google Plus and whether or not that's going to be a real contender going forward. That's a good question, Sarah. It's hard to say. I would never write off Google. I mean, they have so much money and so much influence in the business world today. It's almost astonishing. And they have so many smart people working there. That being said, they have so far to go to catch up to Facebook from a social media perspective. And Facebook is now starting to roll out search engine capability into Facebook, right? So I think it's going to be, personally, I think it's going to be easier for Facebook to add search capability than it is for Google to become a social platform. And I think that that's illustrated by the fact that people are only spending an average of 3 minutes on Google+. I can tell you personally, I jumped into Google+. It's part of my job to know these things. As soon as Google+ came out, I jumped into it, set up my profile, got active in there, set it up on my phone, all this type of stuff. It is a beautiful, beautiful social tool. They've done a fantastic job of designing it. It's wonderful. But I tell you what, I spend almost no time in it. I think one of the theories out there is that people only have room for so many social networks in their life, right? It's like we can only be a part of so many social networks, and Facebook and Twitter absolutely dominate the landscape right now, and so I don't know. It'll be very, very interesting to see if Google Plus can make a hard charge. Like I said, I would never write off Google just because I think they are very, very smart and have incredible resources and incredible influence. But we'll have to see where that goes. All right, great questions. Well, hey, there's a couple more questions that I'm going to get back to you directly. And I thank you, everybody, for being on here and participating and listening in. I hope it was a good use of your time, and I appreciate your engagement and your questions. And again, I just want to stress this is what we help businesses do: is be successful with their social media. And if it's something that you're curious about, if you would like to just brainstorm some strategies or talk about some options for your business, we'd love to have that conversation. And please do just get in touch with us. All right, thanks again, and take care. We'll talk to you soon.